Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I am showing you a removal of Builder Gel and a gel polish application on a client. You've seen my client on this channel a few times now, so obviously you will have seen me actually do this set that I'm taking off. We're taking them off because she's going on a trip really soon where her long Builder Gel nails are basically not going to be appropriate, so she is going to start getting used to just gel polish now, and then we'll obviously get into, I'm really sorry, I'm trying to do things at the same time as voiceover and not getting very far, but basically she just needs to do this now so she can get into having gel polish, basically, long story short. So we're just removing the excess length here. I'm using the penultimate bit from Willow Academy. I'm sorry if you can hear pitter pattering in the background. It is my dog. As usual, he won't stand still for more than 2 seconds, just to be annoying. But yeah, I'm just taking the length down with the penultimate bit and then removing any excess nail from underneath the nail. And then once I've done that, I'm going in now with the purple Willow bit and I'm removing the excess gel, basically removing as much as I can. I'm getting this layer as thin as possible because the thinner the gel is, the less soaking time we have to do. And I don't want to be sat around basically doing absolutely nothing while the nails are soaking off. So I'm removing as much as possible without touching the natural nail and just leaving a really thin layer. So when it comes to soaking, it only takes as long as it takes me to do this on the other hand, basically, because we'll pop this one in. When I finish this step on this one, I'll do this all over again on the other hand. And then by the time I come to this hand, this one will be ready to soak, ready to remove the excess, that I've just soaked off, so it works out good timing. So I will leave you just to watch this because it's literally the same thing the whole way. Obviously, if you don't want to watch this for the next minute or so, then skip to the next clip. But yeah, just debulking here basically. I have taken down a lot of the length, but not even nearly as much as my client wants gone. She wants them literally just past her fingertip, but I'd rather them be too long and we take the excess off and then cut them down to where I want them than take off too much to start and then have to shape them and take off even more by accident sort of thing. So that's why I've left them quite long. So next step is obviously pushing off the excess gel. You can't really see what I'm doing here, but I do change angle in a sec so you can see better. And I'm basically just removing as much that has soaked off as possible. All of it pretty much did come off. I did leave a little bit on the free edge because like I said, we're not keeping the length anyway. So one, I've still got to use my sanding band to buff, well not to buff, but to etch the natural nail ready for application of the gel polish we're going to do. And I also need to cut down a lot of the length, so there's no point removing every last tiny bit off the free edge because we're cutting it off anyway, so it would have been a waste of time. So yeah, just removing the excess, especially from the nail plate area, the middle of the nail, because obviously that's going to stay. So as you can see here, we're just getting that off. It looks like I'm being really aggressive, but it's not. It's because the video is sped up ×2, so it looks really quick and quite forceful, but it's not. I'm being really gentle. I'm only removing anything that's actually lifted. If it's not melted or lifted, then I'm not taking it off. Basically, it will stay there and I'll either file it off or I'll pop a hand back in the acetone, but I didn't need to. So I'm just going in with the Anastasia bit now from Willow Academy and removing all the dead skin from the nail plate and making sure that that cuticle area is pushed back, ready for application, and also ready for me to etch the nail plate so I can make sure that it is all nice and prepped with my sanding band. And that is the next step I'm going to do straight after this, as you can see here. So they're still much longer than they need to be. Like I mentioned, I like to just get them completely prepped and everything, and then I can put them into shape and length before I apply my product. So yeah, I'm just doing this over all of the nails, making sure to not stay in the same area repeatedly, because they will get really warm and it will create a burning sensation for my client, especially when she's just had a soak off, so her nails are a little bit weaker at the moment than they would be any other time. And then once I finish this step, I will cut them down with my cuticle clippers. No, I won't, that's a lie. I will cut them down with my nail clippers and then file into shape with my hand file. And then once I've done that, it's on to gel polish application. So my client wanted like a squoval shape, but I don't like to 100% round the edges off at this stage, just because sometimes when you apply gel polish, that can almost naturally soften the edges anyway. So if you make them really soft and rounded at this point and then apply the gel, they can almost go off shape sort of thing and they look a bit strange. So I do majority of the shape in here, and then when I've put the gel polish on, I will just go around the edges just to make sure they're all nice and smooth and how my client wants them. And then that'll be that. So the next step is base coat. So I'm using the first base from Gel Perfection. It's a really lovely, easy to use thin base coat, but it's not thin where it literally like basically I don't have any problems with it running or anything like that. It's perfect. It stays exactly where I put it, especially if you're using obviously a really thin layer. So I'm just going to apply this to all of the nails. I do put them on all 5 nails, then into the lamp all at once. I do double cure the base coat. It is only a 30-second cure base, but I do cure for 60 just because it takes me a minute to paint the other hand anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I'd rather my clients leave the hand in the lamp than take them out and get them fluffy while they're waiting. So it always works to just leave the lamp on a bit longer. You can't over cure, so it's fine. So yeah, just apply my base coat to this hand, and then I will go in with my colour. The colour I'm going to be using as my base colour underneath the top one is called Starry Night, and it is this beautiful, as you can see here, really dark, like deep glittery deep blue. It's not actually glittery, it's more like a shimmer through it, really subtle. But we are going to be using Cocktail Party on top of it just to make it a little bit more glittery, and Cocktail Party has like a purple sort of tinge to it as well, so it's absolutely stunning. On top of this, they look really good together. So I'm just going to let you watch this application here. I'm getting as close to the edges of the nails as possible, but without touching the skin. And then if I do touch the skin, just make sure to clean it up before I cure it in place. And always capping the free edge as well, including like the side wall area that is past the finger basically. So yeah, I'm just going to make you watch this. I'm just going to let you watch this step. The next step will be me applying a coat of Cocktail Party on top of this. So one coat of this, one coat of Cocktail Party. They're both from Gel Perfection, Diamond Glitters, like gel polish brand. And and then it'll be a few dots on the ring finger. My client loved them, so she ended up putting them on her index finger as well. And then basically after that we just top coated. So super simple set, but I just thought it'd be nice to have this on my channel because I haven't got a removal and gel polish on here, so it's nice to have something different. But I'm just going to let you watch the rest of it because there's not really that much exciting coming up. It's just a nice basic application. I did top coat off camera. I think, I can't 100% remember now actually, but I definitely cleansed the top coat off camera and applied cuticle oil and just did a really quick file over the corners just to make sure they weren't sharp. And that was it for this client. She loved how they turned out. She was really upset at the start about having to have less length, but she got there in the end. Like when they were finished, she was like, you know what, they actually look really good. So that's all that matters. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with another one. Bye.